this a secret? I know you like to keep it clean. No prying eyes to keep you honest. What do you hide when you hide with me? If you think you're clever, then you've never weathered anyone like me. I've been training all my life. Guess your numbers are right. Cause when she calls mine, I'm not gonna lie. Those pretty eyes, are you scared now? You can't erase all the things you've seen. Do you like my shows and all my monsters? Now you're my latest favorite thing. Do you wanna play misbehave? Say the ways you plan to hurt me, abuse and drain me dry. Now you wanna know if you'll make it out alive. Nah, I'm not gonna lie. Don't you want my affection? I thought you said you were mine. Won't you join my collection? La 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 la, you'll be fine. Oops. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna.
All right. Let's get the show on the road. Welcome, everyone, to the TTRPG Theater. I am your host, Rob, otherwise known as Phantom NJ. It is Thursday, February 13th. Can you believe it? We're in February already? Can you believe we're already halfway through February? All I can say to that is thank goodness. Yeah, it's been time. It's there's a lot going on. Ooh. Interesting. So, yeah, I was on vacation for the last 2 weeks, so I'm a little out of sorts. I have not quite to say that. I wasn't exactly prepared to stream tonight is a little bit of an understatement because I almost completely forgot. I'll be honest with you. It got back from vacation on Saturday. Came back just as a snowstorm was happening. The rest of the weekend was weird because of the snow and, just trying to get reacclimated to being back here stateside and in the cold, which my body did not react well to. On top of all that, then you get back to work, and if you've ever worked a job where you get a lot of emails in the first place and then you're suddenly gone for 10 days and you're coming back to 10 days worth of email, there's a lot to go through, and it's very, very draining. And I've spent a lot of the week pretty damn tired, to be honest with you. Has not been the most fun time. Of course, you always want to be, you'd always prefer to be on vacation. So there is that going on. And I'm noticing that once again, for reasons I do not understand, the video on this particular screen capture is not quite fitting into the frame, and I don't know why that happens. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. It's like, why does it decide that some weeks it's going to be perfect, some weeks it's not? When that doesn't change, there we go. Much, much better. Fitting in, fitting in, fitting in. So yeah, there is the matter of getting back into the swing of things because I kind of need to because there's stuff coming up. There's stuff coming up that's going to require me to be in fine streaming form. And yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, well, actually, we can talk pretty much about anything, whatever you're interested in. There are no topics, at least in the gaming land, that are out of bounds. So, if you've got any questions you want to ask, you just want to say hi, even if you're just lurking, that's fine. I'm okay with lurks. I appreciate lurks, honestly. Anything that comes up with more viewers and more viewers showing and helps, push me up a little bit further in terms of people trying to find me. That's always a good thing. So let's see. What do we got? What do we got? Well, what we have is a raid by Troll Lord Games. Thank you so much. 47 viewers. I know you guys were all just finishing up. There's a lot of stuff going on in Troll Lord. I know because I'm waiting on stuff coming in. There's the new starter thing coming out. I did jump on the 150 or 100, whatever it was, first 125 of the collector's edition of the new starter kit. So, gonna be cool. Willie Rat, good to see you. Agile Monk, Malarkey, Savage Splendor, DM Chris, Wiley Hobbit, Scott, good to see you. Thank you for the lurk. I appreciate it. Lord Gazumba, as always, thank you so much for the resub. Very much appreciated, sir. We get a shout out for Jay. And we will be raiding into Jay at the end of this stream. I know he's got another one of his Thursday night sessions going tonight. So there's that. So let's talk about what's going on. I mentioned, before you all came in, I mentioned the fact that I'm back from vacation. I was out the last 2 Thursdays. I was out in Jamaica, and it was gorgeous. The weather was fantastic, and being back here in the snow is brutal. Well, not too much snow, but just enough snow. The cold, the bleh of as Simon and Garfunkel put it, and the Bangles covered it later, the hazy shade of winter. It's seasonal affective disorder is a thing, and I think I've got a good. I think I got a good case of it going on. It's funny that it comes out sad. Yes, Pete, Commander Pete, I am looking forward to having you in my game. I will be at GaryCon. If you are at GaryCon and you are looking, you're looking for a CNC game to play in, I've got good news for you. I've got 3 of them. I know Wiley Hobbit is running 4 sessions. Actually, I just saw him say he was lurking, so I'm not clear if he's running the same session 4 times because I know he's running a adventure from the late great Len Lakofka that has not been published. It's going to be put out at some point, released to the community at some point. Willie, yeah, that's there's that. It's I have a good friend who's in Winnipeg, or as she and I both jokingly call it at this point, Winterpeg. So I feel for you. The last check, is it still negative 24 Celsius there, or has it warmed up to like negative 20? Some absurd number. It's just cold. But yeah, it going the Jamaica trip in February is a yearly thing. It coincides with my girlfriend's birthday, which is nice. Also happens to fall on Bob Marley's birthday, which, listen, there are a few places that are better to be than Jamaica on Bob Marley's birthday because it's always a festival, whatever else is going on. So it makes for a good time. So good way to get away from it. It was nice to come back, and a couple of days later, a day that was a bigger deal when I was a kid than it is now. Balmy's negative 17C. Yep. Okay. All right. Yep. We've had a couple. We've had a few of those. Thankfully, not lately. We've had it get down to the teens lately in Fahrenheit. There was, before I left, there were a few days where we were at -3, -4 Fahrenheit. And that was not fun. But yeah, I was saying that, come back and I get you have the Super Bowl on Sunday, and wow, that was a yawner. Oh my goodness, it was just bleh. It was like, as soon as you realize that, no, the comeback is not going to be happening. That game. Oh, Jay, I'm sure you were having a hell of a time. But for the neutral or the person who was just going to hope the stadium was going to swallow everybody up, not so much. It was kind of just. That was a beat down of the highest order. That's what that was. The Swiss cheese that was pretending to be an offensive line for the Chiefs. That was, when you're getting your butt kicked on the offensive line like that, and they're not even bothering to blitz. What the hell is going on? It's like, yeah, and meanwhile, I watch my Giants, and they just keep adding skill positions because the offensive line is just going to fix itself, apparently. I was, the result for me was, I didn't have a horse in that race. It was like there was no way that game ended that went well for me. But if nothing else, I guess it maybe the bright side is it does highlight exactly what having an O-line will do for you and why you should have one. And maybe the Giants will figure that out one of these years. Maybe. Because I'm telling you right now, the only reason Eli Manning is not a first ballot Hall of Famer is because he had no offensive line for the last 6 years of his career. The man was running for his life, basically getting that crap beat out of him, and shocking that he couldn't get much done. Still managed to start every single game that he was still was healthy for every single game, never missed a game due to injury. Which, when you see the beatings that he took, that's freaking amazing, honestly. And yes, we do have, I should, something I forgot to do this. The channel is sponsored by Troller Games, and we do have a giveaway going on. It is a $10 raffle for a $10 coupon towards any digital product from the Troller Games site. We will be doing the raffle at the end of the stream. Exclamation point ticket to enter, just as Touch of Evil did. So let's see what's going on. I mentioned that with the getting back from the holidays and Super Bowl and dealing with the blahs of winter, I nearly forgot to stream today. I was like, I'm forgetting something, and then I saw the Troller stream go on, and it's like, hey, I think I'm supposed to be doing something after they go. It's like, I probably should get back to that because it's been a couple weeks already. So here we are. We've got events coming up. I mean, I've got next week. Next week is the I guess it's the 7th annual St. Jude's fundraiser from the Greyhawk community. And I will be kicking stuff off on Friday. The event itself will be Thursday. It starts off Thursday night. Jay Lord Gazumba will be running his normal Thursday night session. Probably is going to have. I'm guessing there's some guests going to be playing in that game. Is it just a prelude show Monday night? All right, so we're kind of getting started on Monday with the prelude show. Thursday night he's got a session. I know. Was it Folk and Mythos following you on Thursday night? Is that correct, or was it somebody else? And then at 9 a.m. on Friday morning, I will be running the first of my games. Okay, it's just your guys. Cool. Among the people who are playing would be one TLG Chuck. Mr. Cumbo himself will be playing in that game. So that is going to be fun. As well as I've got Coco Bunny 94 and Bruingall are playing in that game as well. I haven't decided yet whether I have a couple other of my regulars who are interested in playing. I haven't decided if I'm just going to go with the three of them or add a couple more to that game. I was hoping to be able to find a couple more people, a couple more new people, but that hasn't happened. And so I'm figuring out what I want to do with that. But yeah, that's going to be 9 o'clock. And after that, I know Orc Skull is running a game. I will probably end up raiding into him because Troller Games has a game that has a game later. I think it starts at 2, which I will be playing in. I am one of the players in that afternoon game. But I don't think we're going to be going all the way till 2 o'clock. So, so we'll see what I believe Orc Skull will be who I end up raiding into, and basically one raiding into the next, raiding to the next. I know we're still working at Leshek. We're still working on who's going to be running at 6 p.m. that night to keep going. There's a whole list of people who are running on games of running on Saturday. I think it starts off in the morning with the ever mysterious Tim running on Lord Gazumba's channel, I believe, on Saturday morning. And we'll see. Yeah, we'll see who. There's a great bunch of great streamers following that. And then Sunday morning at 10 a.m., I will be running the second of my games, featuring one Asher the Bear as one of my players. He is one of my regulars, so there's going to be that's the group that has run in the campaign most often. And it's going to be a good time. We last year we raised $26,200 over the course of the weekend for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. We are hoping to beat that this year. So, support as many of the streamers as you can, even if it's just to lurk. Put them on. You can mute them. Just make sure you have the volume up and then mute the actual tab if you don't have time to watch. Get those numbers up so we get more visibility. If you can donate anything, you can donate. That's amazing. There's no such thing as a donation that's too small. And see what we can do about beating last year's number. This weekend is one of the highlights of my weekend. I'm actually kind of blessed in that, my work allows me to do volunteer work, do a couple of days of volunteer work for pay. And so, I actually was able to take a paid day off to do this on Friday. I would have taken one of my vacation days if I had to. I didn't care. I did that last year. But they changed the rules, so I get to do that. It's kind of awesome. And let's see what we can do. Let's raise some money, have some fun. The theme of is undead tumult. So yeah, bring your clerics. Oh boy. Bring your saving throws because undead and CNC are a really, really dangerous proposition. I probably will go with the alternate rules, some alternate rules for the undead. Level drain is a pain in the ass, honestly. I like stat drains. Oh, nice. 2 legends as the baddies. Oh boy. Oh, that's great. When you can bring somebody in and have them play the baddie. I get to be my own baddie, so there's that. Asher, I think that is where I'm going with that. I think I am going to go with Stat Drain. Current three, good to see you. Glad you could join us. So that's next weekend. And the amazing thing is, after next weekend is done, we are going to be less than a month out from GaryCon. And holy hell. If you enjoy being part of this community, either the Troll community, the Greyhawk community, old school players community, GaryCon is the place to be. Unfortunately, if you have not already bought a badge this year, you're a bit out of luck because GaryCon is sold out. It is now to the point where if you want to get a GaryCon badge, you pretty much have to sign up for the join the Facebook group and camp that group until somebody says that they aren't able to go and they have their badge to sell. It does happen. It happens more often than you think. People's plans change, changes in life, whatever the case is. All right. Thanks so much, Jay. I will catch you later. But yeah, you will need to hope that somebody has a badge that they need to sell and that you're able to pounce on it quick because there's always people looking for badges. But GaryCon at this point is sold out. If you are going to GaryCon, I mentioned it already. I've got 3 games being run. They're all Castles and Crusades. They are Thursday and Friday morning at 9 a.m. And I believe it's in Evergreen 3 is the room. And then Saturday morning, for some godforsaken reason, my game starts at 8 a.m. Shoot me now. But, yeah. If you see me, come say hi. Just tell me who you are on Twitch, or if you're in my Discord, tell me who you are. I love meeting people from the community. It's one of the best parts about GaryCon. I'm at the point where there will be at least 75 people I know at GaryCon from the various communities. I'm happy to say that I've met most of them at least once already, which is just amazing. But between the Greyhawk community and the Troller community, there's going to be at least 75 people there that I know. And I'm just looking forward to seeing everyone. It's one of those things where I run the 3 games and then I don't want to sign up for anything because signing up for stuff is time that I don't get to spend with the people that I want to be there to see. This time I am staying through Monday, so I will be there on Sunday for the full day. I realize that it's basically, there's a few games and the vendor hall closes really early and everybody packs up, but I will be there. I'll be there on Sunday, so we can hang out after the con is closed. Please come by, say hello. And, I do have the 3 games going Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. They mention Embers of Empire because they are considered part of my campaign. One of the things I am going to do is take the characters that are in use, and I am, you'll be able to keep your character sheet. I also have a copy of the character sheet, which I will modify to reflect that they've played in, that they've been in that session. So that I can start handing them out and repurposing them as people want to join the campaign. Especially if they don't have any particular character that they want to be playing themselves. Obviously if they want to create a character, I'm all for that. It's fantastic. But yeah, GaryCon, it's going to be, I'll be there. I'm getting there early on Wednesday and I will be there through Monday. I will be going, flying back on Monday. So big news, and I've been thinking about this a lot, and it's time. Once, and I may start it before GaryCon. This is the only thing that I haven't decided, but I am leaning towards before GaryCon. I will be restarting Friday Night Crusades in my Discord. For those of you who are not familiar with Friday Night Crusades, it is a game that I started in another Discord, which I won't be mentioning because of reasons. It is an open game. So what this means is whoever shows up on that given Friday night runs. If you show up late, you're still running. If you have to leave early, you're still running. It's one of those games where all that's required is you're able to listen in on Discord. If you can talk on Discord, that's a bonus because typing can slow things down a bit. But we were doing. There's a couple things that I'm trying to decide. One of the things I would note, and I have planned for it, and I'd like to at least have a couple of them ready before I begin, is I will be using this to test out new character classes. They're not going to be completely new. They're going to be variations. I really want to Greyhawk my games up a bit where I have things that are campaign and setting specific. But I'd rather not do the testing of them in the actual campaign itself. So, the Friday night game, if things get a little out of whack on the Friday night game, that's fine. I'm not as worried about it. But I can tweak them. We can, tweak them as they go along. And I've got some ideas for like specialty priests of different Greyhawk deities, different types of knights. I want to have both knights and paladins. I want some that are, specific to different deities, and as far as the knights, specific to different orders, because I think that's one of the things that for flavor effect, they should not all be the same. They'll be mostly the same, and that's not to say that they're going to be completely different from the base class either. It may be that just certain abilities get swapped out. My goal is to get them to the point where they're usable, but they're not overpowered. They fit into the campaign setting. They could fit into another campaign setting if you have things that are kind of, analogous in terms of like the various deities and such. But it's work. But there are also a couple of the classes that I'm not entirely thrilled with, and I think they need a bit of reworking. I want to rework the Bard class a bit, just because the fascination mechanic for me is, especially the way that builds on levels, is very clunky. I will be going back to the option of being able to cast spells at the kind of levels like level 9 and such. No, not more to second edition than first. I'm not doing the first edition AD&D Bard. That I thought that was a mess back in first edition. I am not a fan of that. It's a prestige class in a game that had no other prestige classes, which made absolutely zero sense to me. I didn't even have the terminology for it at the time. All I knew is that just sounded, it was like, what? You gotta go how many levels before you actually get to play the Bard? It makes, that made no sense. More like the second edition Bard. I also am looking at, it's definitely powerful, but I mean, at that point you're playing characters minimum, what was it, minimum 10th level by the time they hit level 1 Bard? Or was it 5 and 4 or 5 and 3 that they needed? Okay, they had to be, yeah, it's just, it's too much. I was like, I like I like the abilities. 5, yeah, so 5 to 8 in either. So they had to be at least effectively 11th level, you had to go effectively 11 levels before you got to play the bard itself. It's like not 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 what I want. Not what I want to be doing. Well, okay, XP wise, but it's still you're still going a long way. Yeah, that's true. I mean that's fair. It's just a long time to it's a lot to do just to get to the actual thing that you want to be, and just I I don't think that we ever actually had anyone in the close to 10 years that I played first edition. I know I created a bard at some point just because we created a bunch of high level characters to have some fun with. I don't know that I had anyone in any of the games that I ran ever go to create a bard. Well, I mean, Asher meeting stat requirements in first edition could be ridiculous in and of itself. The Cavalier was just absurd. The Paladin, if you ended up switching the Paladin underneath the Cavalier as the primary class, was even more ridiculous. If anyone showed up with the stats showed up with a character who qualified as a Paladin after as a Cavalier primary class Paladin in first edition, the DM would tell them to re-roll immediately because they wouldn't believe you. You needed 3 15s and was it a 17? And I mean that's fine. It's just it's Sir Pink of Stick. Oh boy, it just the stat requirements were just well 1E you need a 17 charisma just for and before when it was a player's handbook version you need a 17 charisma and a 13 wisdom. I'm pretty sure that was the case. Then when when Unearthed Arcana came out, if you didn't do both varieties and you switched to the Unearthed Arcana Paladin, you suddenly needed 15 Strength, 15 Dexterity, 15 Constitution, and a 17 Charisma. Oh, and a 13 Wisdom. So it's like, come on. I mean, I like characters who have who in first and second edition I like characters who had good stats, but even for me that was ridiculous. I do want to do more stuff with things like elementalists. I have to figure out how I would want that to work in CNC. So I got to think about that. The other problem being that none of the CNC books break out spells by that type, so I would have to do that work on my own, or I'd need to have somebody help me with that. Find somebody who's willing to do that. By spheres, and especially for like the elemental spells as well. And do it preferably without using the Jim Ward book, because the Jim Ward book is ridiculous. I love Jim Ward's stuff, but his spells in the elemental spell book he came out with will break the game just as surely as the classes Adventurer's Backpack would do. Illusionists will remain their own thing. That's the one thing I can tell you. I'm not doing the 2E route where illusion just becomes another school. I am tempted to bring the mentalist in I am tempted to bring them I am tempted to bring the mentalists into CNC from Amazing Adventures, because I think it's kind of cool. And then I have to see about some of the other classes like the pirate and stuff like that. See if it's interesting enough to have them as separate classes. Nice, Asher. Yeah, actually, I remember you telling me about that. So yeah, and as you may have guessed because I've been talking about it, Friday Night Crusades will be placed in Greyhawk. I haven't decided where yet. I am tempted to keep it on the eastern side of the map. I don't know. I don't think that I'm going to do it in not. Oh, you missed that part of it. Oh ho ho. I thought that's kind of why you popped in like right after I said it. Yeah, either just before or just after Gary Con, I am bringing back Friday Night Crusades. Almor would be, well, because of the fact that I'm going to place it in the same time frame. Almor would end up being part of Nyrond at that point, and there's already enough stuff going on in Almor. If I was going to do it adjacent, I might do it in like the Duchy of Ernst or somewhere in that area, the county or the duchy, one of those two. Kind of adjacent to the Embers of Empire. I don't know if I want to call it the Embers of Empire campaign or consider it part of it, just because things would get weird and I might. It does allow for me to cross characters over, possibly. People want to retire their characters or roll up something new. Keep their old characters and possibly have them go. I got to see how that works. I don't want to put it directly in Nyrond itself. I could be really cruel and have it inside the remains of the Great Kingdom. Because what could go wrong there? Sausage maker who. Oh boy, nice. But yes, it will be a Greyhawk thing. Yeah, actually, that's why I was talking about the custom classes. I'm going to use Friday Night Crusades as a place to test the custom classes that I'm trying to put together. And I was saying I want to have at least 2 of them ready to go by the time I start it up again. But yeah, it's time to bring the game back. I know people have been looking for something to do on Friday nights, and I miss it. I mean, it was a really I've come to realize that as tired as I could be on Friday nights, having people show up. Dwarven Runemark, I want to do the Dwarven Runemark class. I need to completely rebuild the class though. It doesn't work. I am not the photographic memory ability to me just I can't. It just does not work for me. So I need to figure out what I want to replace that with. And not only that, I'd have to go through the runes and figure out how that works. I love the idea. It's the concept of a dwarven rune mark type thing. It sounds fantastic. I also want to use it. I want to use this game to do some of the Dragon Magazine stuff. Like I've already introduced the halfling. Was it the halfling guardian? I don't remember if it's the halfling guardian or halfling defender as an NPC in one of my campaign sessions. I would like to get that to the point where it is a player character. Sweet Katie, good to see you. How you doing? Halfling guardian. Okay, yeah. That's a class that also needs to be tweaked though, because they're actually really, really powerful. They've got spellcast. They get spellcasting abilities. They're kind of like halfling paladins of a sort, but they get their spellcasting abilities at like level 5 or 4, something like that. Which that would really throw things off from a game perspective. Especially since even paladins won't be getting theirs till 9. So I've thought about looking at some of the spells that they have and turning them into special abilities. Ah, awesome. Very, very, very cool. Glad to hear it. Hey, Justinius. How's it going, Greg? Good to see you. So yeah, there's the Halfling Guardian. There's others that I had my eye on. And I'm looking forward to the classes that Jay will be introducing. Um, there's a couple that I may end up coming with my own version before that happens. I love the idea of Fultus, the Fulton Inquisitors, with a special ability called the Question. Because you're an Inquisitor, you're there to ask questions and get information, and you're not necessarily being nice about it. So an intimidation type thing. But yeah, I want variations. I looked at some of the specialty priests that were in From the Ashes. I have I have some thoughts about some of the choices that were made in that supplement regarding specialty priests. I'm not entirely happy with the specialty priests of Palor. Honestly, the specialty priests of Foltest sound more like Palor priests to me than they do Fulton priests. So there's that. The Palor stuff is kind of meh. And I admit that I'm a big fan of Palor. So there's a lot of stuff to work out, and I need to figure out what I want to do with these and run some tests on these classes. Let people play them, put them through their paces and see how that goes. It will be again, this will be Friday nights. They will be. When we get started, and there'll be more details to come. It'll be Friday nights in my Discord. The only thing required is basically being able to listen in on Discord and hopefully being able to talk. Just because it speeds things up. Come as you are. You'll have your character sheet. Roll dice however you want to. You can use digital dice. You can physical dice. There is absolutely zero requirement that you show up on any given week. You're not even required to tell me that you won't be there. People normally do, which is awesome, but not required, because I don't want anyone to feel like this is work. It should just be being able to show up, roll some dice, and have some fun. And we did. We went from a game that over the course of the 2.5 to 3 years that I ran it, we started off where we had weeks where we were starting off with like 3 people, and wondering if we were going to have enough people in any given week to run. And then by the end, we were 7 to 8 people regularly, sometimes as many as 10 to 12, and everybody went. I took everybody. I said I would take everybody, and I did. But yeah, I've got ideas for a story, so it's gonna be a fun time. Details to come as far as when exactly we're getting that started. But it's coming soon. It's going to be, it'll be in March, either a week or two before GaryCon, or a week after the week after GaryCon. One of the two. Like I said, I've already mentioned GaryCon, and the other thing is I've got all the stuff coming in. I finally got my 3D printer out of the box. It's only been sitting there for about 2.5 years in the box. Got it out of the box. It still needs to be assembled. I was not expecting it to be in that many pieces, and the energy and enthusiasm just left me again. It's a question of whether or not I'm going to order a second printer before the first one's assembled, because I've been looking at that Bamboo A1 printer, and the idea of it being ready to go right out of the box is very, very enticing at this point. And plus, I know that once I get one printer going, I'm going to want a second one. It's just the way that it is. I've got terrain that I want to make. I don't need miniatures. I've got plenty of miniatures, and at this point, if I want something, I'll do it buy a one-off from probably from Reaper at this point, if I need anything. Because at some point, I'd like to be able to run games from my basement, with, basically kind of the way Jay does with lots of miniatures and terrain. Because I've got all this stuff. I'd like to be able to use it. Of course, that means I'm going to need to get my ass to painting. So, it's going to be a lot of work. Tracy! How you doing, Tracy? It's good to see you. I am Demeen. Please 3D print a teleporter so I can swing by. Oh man, at Page, I bought so much stuff from Retro Gamer MF from Mike Saxton. And I would have bought more, except for the fact that there are pieces of his where I could easily have doubled or tripled my expenditure, and I just realized that I don't have a place to put it. I love the fort that he printed out and painted, and I want it, and I don't have anywhere that I can actually put that down right now. That's how cluttered things are at the moment. But yeah, I really want that fort. But I did buy like like one of all the other stuff that he has, that he had there. It was just the extra large pieces that I didn't get. So I've got stuff to bring to GaryCon. I will have terrain with me at GaryCon. I just need to pack it, and I really need to start planning. I've already put out like the description of the adventure. I just have to figure out how to work it around the terrain that I have. Oh, nice. Yeah. So that's gonna be it's gonna be a fun time. GaryCon is gonna be a great time. Friday Night Crusades when it comes back. See you soon, Jay. Friday Night Crusades will be a fun time when it comes back. I'm looking forward to more games, more stream games with my players. The game I mentioned the fact that Friday of next week, I will have Coco Bunny 94, Brungal, Chris Brungal is one of my players, and Chuck will be one of my players for 9 a.m. on Friday morning. I'm still hopeful, outside chance of getting a couple more players. I realize that 9 a.m. on a Friday is a rough time, but we'll see what we can do. And then on Sunday at 10 a.m., what called Sunday of the fundraiser, which will be the 23rd, Friday the 21st, and then Sunday the 23rd at 10 a.m. I've got my group, the Righteous Hands, along with Wiley Hobbit, will be joining them once again. He's kind of become a quasi-regular member of the group, which will be a lot of fun. And the event is Undead Tumult. We're raising money for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. And I hope to see you all there for the events. Support me if you can. Support the other streamers. If you're able to donate, every dollar counts. We raised $26,200 last year. We're trying to beat that this year. See what we can do. But Friday morning at 9 a.m. is my first session. And beyond that, now it's watching as all the TLG stuff is coming in, and suddenly my list of outstanding Kickstarters is shrinking. Yay! I've got the first half of the Reforged stuff. I know there's, I believe Reforged, there's still more coming. That's the thing I'm confused on at this point. It's like, I don't even know what's still outstanding anymore. I need to check it. The Hermit stuff has come in, and it looks great. I've got my Reforged books and the PDFs and everything. Um, the I've loved what I've been seeing with the covers for the the new Gygaxian World Series. Those books have looked great. Uh, and soon Castle Zagig, the next section, where it's the Castle Zagig itself will be coming out. So lots of stuff coming in the TLG world, lots of stuff coming in the CNC world. There's some, they've just released a new adventure for Amazing Adventures, a companion to a city that they released for Castles and Crusades. I believe the Amazing Adventures version is called Ruins of Ensmeet, which is kind of interesting because I guess it depends on where Amazing Adventures for that one is. It still taking place? When is it taking place, and where is it taking place? Because I was under the impression it was kind of like a modern world thing, except for the fact that Ensmeet otherwise is in Aird. And for those of you who may or may not realize, Aird is actually ancient Venus. So I got questions, which means I need to get this adventure because I need to find the answers. But there'll be that. All right, let's see what else we have. I don't know. Anyone else? Anyone have any questions about anything? Please feel free to ask, and I'm going to take a look at where we stand in terms of the giveaway. All right, we've got 5 people signed up for the giveaway. It is a $10 coupon towards any digital product from the TLG website. Great, perfect if you want to put it towards any of the physical products. At this point, you can pretty much, I think, use it at this point to buy most of any PDF pretty much outright. Awesome. Good to see another Katie signing up. Yeah, that's kind of where we are at the moment. It was good to get out on vacation. It was good to take a break. Good to get a bit of a mental reset, and just try not to think about things for a while because it's been a lot lately. But we're back. Things are moving forward. Spring will soon be here. I never got around to actually saying it, but I was talking about the fact that it's sports, and one of the biggest things in the calendar for me as a child, especially because of the fact that we didn't have cable when I was a kid, so the other than football, various winter sports were not an option for watching for me, other than maybe the game of the week. They'd have the basketball game of the week or whatever. So the other big thing was pitchers and catchers reporting to spring training, which meant the official, or the unofficial, I should say, the unofficial start to the end of winter, or the unofficial start to the countdown to the beginning of spring. Because then, at that point, you knew that for the evening news, or the late night news, whatever, the local news, you'd have the sports reports would, the sports report would go to Florida for us because growing up in the New York area, both of the New York area teams had their spring training down in Florida. So we'd be getting news from Tampa or it's now Port St. Lucie. I think back then it was St. Petersburg. Was where the Met spring training was held. Don't remember exactly, but it'd be visions of people throwing baseballs in warm weather, and then the count would start towards that first spring training game, and then of course the spring training games seemed to go on forever. It's like, can we start the season already? And then soon enough, the baseball season would be here. It would be April, the beginning of April, and then it was just time, just a couple of months before school was done, a month and a half or so, because I went to Catholic school and we got out early. We were done by mid-June. And the school season, the school year was done, and the summer was here, and life was good. So I still try to hold on to that feeling as an adult. And I admit that I've been scouring and waiting for the first clips of people throwing baseballs down in Florida. They've had some pictures, but not much more. Yeah, Lord Fort, I knew a handful of people when I was a kid. I knew a handful of people who had cable. I didn't have cable for myself until I went to college. All right, so we've got. Let's see, where what do we have? Scott, thank you so much for popping in. And I will speak to you soon, sir. We've got the game coming up in basically a week from Sunday. I do believe that Jay is live. He is live. So let's do this. I'm going to go to the stream ending and we will do the giveaway. Thank you everybody for popping in. Thank you Troller Games let's do this one more time. Troller Games for the raid. Lord Gazumba for his support and for the sub. And we are going to get this giveaway, and hang tight, and we will be rating in shortly. So last chance to join the giveaway! Exclamation point ticket. I will be closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Closing the giveaway. Drawing a winner. Sweet Katie, congratulations. I will get with you after this to get you the code. All right. Lord Gazunda. Everybody get your raid emotes ready, whether you have access to mine, whether you have your own, any way that any way that you can get some raid emotes ready. And we are going to be raiding in 3. Well, actually, I want to say thank you again, and see you all next week on Thursday. Watch for me on Lord Gazumba stream on Monday night for the. I believe I'll be joining him on Monday night for the St. Jude's preview show, and then next Friday the first session. So see you next week, and rating in 3, 2, 1. Bye now.